The Jim Ryan era over at PlayStation has officially come to an end. Let's sit down and chat a bit about the future of PlayStation and the possible moves they could look to make very soon. Up next. What's going on, guys? It's Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Level Up. So, yesterday, amongst all of the April Fool's jokes and rather misleading headlines, a critical moment within gaming occurred. And this moment was the official end of Jim Ryan as the head of PlayStation. In the meantime, Hiroki Totoki will take his place for a while. And this is all while PlayStation searches for its new leader. And this is a very crucial choice they're gonna have to make. PlayStation has felt all ends of the spectrum when it comes to the leaders they've had over the years. Of course, I'm talking about the more business-oriented things when it comes to Jim Ryan, and the more quote-unquote gamer man being Sean Layton. Now, if we look to all of the recent statements that all of the main figureheads over at PlayStation put out there, they seem to be very focused on the margins the business is creating overall, which could lead me to believe that they're going to be looking for a businessman over everything else. Now, over the past few months, even Hiroki Totoki himself came out to say what PlayStation has been running on lately hasn't really been optimal. And this is all accredited to the ballooning AAA gaming budgets they've seen over recent years. And again, this is why we're going to see more PlayStation first-party games over on the PC. Quote, "In the past, we wanted to popularize consoles, and a first-party title's main purpose was to make the console popular. This is true, but there's a synergy to it. So if you have strong first-party content, not only on our console but other platforms like computers, a first-party game can be grown with multi-platform. And that can help an operating profit to improve. So that's another one we want to proactively work on. I personally think that there are opportunities out there for improvement of margin. So I would like to go aggressive on improving our margin performance. Now, I do think the overall shift to the PC market that PlayStation is looking to make here is going to be a move that vastly improves the numbers they're looking to boost. We've seen the success that Xbox has had with this strategy over the years, and Xbox themselves recently bit the bullet and offer up titles that were once exclusive to Xbox platforms. And if we're talking about just PlayStation, especially since that's what we're talking about today, I think Helldivers 2 is a prime example of this strategy working. Helldivers 2 was and continues to be a massive hit for them, thus proving launching games on PC gives you the chance to cast this wider net, reaching more players and making more money. But now that they found this strategy on PC, I think the only logical step moving forward is that process to evolve. So, what are we gonna do here? Well, as of right now, they're kind of taking this staggered approach with their first-party games. I'm looking at God of War, Horizon, and even The Last of Us launching a year or two after the initial console launch. Now, I think the next logical step here would be launching those games day and date on the PC. Now, while I'm no businessman, I know there's a method to all this. I think launching them at the same time capitalizes on the hype the game has at launch, compared to launching it on the PC years after, and that's all after the hype for the game has died down. And if you've stuck around our PlayStation talks, you know I've been in the camp that PlayStation should honestly consider creating their own PC launcher. And this will all direct the cash flow directly to them, and grow out the larger PlayStation ecosystem. And not to mention, there's also a lot of question marks as for what type of games PlayStation is going to launch in the next year or two. Yes, we've seen them commit to the live service model for quite a few games, and a game like Helldivers 2 did find success. But for every one of those games comes a ton of canceled projects we've seen over the years. Much like the canceled Last of Us Factions game, which is that multiplayer spin on The Last of Us, and now the Twisted Metal game. As for the hardware side of things, that highly rumored PlayStation 5 Pro could be on the horizon here, as more and more leaks and details are coming out as far as performance goes. And here's hoping PlayStation wakes up and realizes that if Xbox is in fact working on a next-gen handheld, They finally decide to dust off the Vita or the PSP refresh that many people have been waiting for. But with all that being said, I'm gonna pass this question off to you guys. What do you guys think lies ahead for PlayStation? And what moves could they possibly make to improve the business overall? Personally, I think they lean heavily into the PC side of things, seeing how that is making them a lot of money right now. And I am very much hoping they decide to release a Vita or PSP refresh in the next few years. But that about does it here. I've been Kalo, I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and this has been the Level Up.